Samsung recently released the Android 14 based One UI 6.0 update to the Galaxy Tab A8. This is my daily driver for school. This software update, Samsung changed some things here and there, and in this video, I will be going over the changes and features added to this software. So you could learn something or find something new, so do stick around to find out. So with this being the Galaxy Tab A8, a budget tablet, Samsung have stripped down the software to the bare minimum and things they feel that are just necessary enough for a budget tablet. So we'll be limited to the core version of One UI. So that's the software with missing all its fancy bells and whistles such as Dex and S Pens and support and all of that. So for this video, I'll be going over 4 topics. The first will be the user interface, that's the UI. Second would be the home screen and lock screen customization. The third would be some extra features and added usability perks. And the fourth would be just for fun, performance, to see how well the software optimized for the day-to-day running of the device. So let's begin. So beginning with the UI, the first thing I was greeted with when booting up the tablet in the update for the first time was a new font space. This font is much more easier to read and cleaner and just feels more polished compared to the previous font. And if I may, it adds a much more Samsung feel to it. Next up, we have a redesigned quick panel and notifications tray. In the quick panel, you have your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth icons boldly separated from the rest. Your display settings such as brightness, eye comfort and dark mode have been grouped together. You also have redesigned quick settings such as editing, the quick panel and power options and your direct shortcut settings. Samsung has also redesigned the keyboard emojis. They are now much more colorful and livelier. So as for the lock screen and home screen, Samsung has given you more customization options as you can freely move your clock around and resize as you please. In the home screen, there's a simplified naming for your apps, so it reduces the clutter with the app names in the home screen. The weather widget, for some reason, was seriously redesigned. So it's now much more active and lively with changing weather and time of day. For the camera app, doesn't seem like much has been redesigned. In the options such as filters and effects, the UI has been changed from a slider to a dial, which is much more easier to operate. Same thing happens in the editor as well. There's also the smart airplane mode. Here, turning on airplane mode, the device remembers your last settings for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and anytime you turn on airplane mode, it leaves them uninterrupted. So if you leave your Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on and you have turned on your airplane mode or turn it off, it remains as is. There seems to be better support for dragging and dropping items around. You can pick on an app or a file with one finger and hold, and use the other finger to swipe around and navigate and drop where it's needed. Just like when you hold down an app on the app drawer and extra settings come out, you can now do that in the Finder tabs in the app drawer. So in the search bar, you type in an app, hold down on the app, you will get alternative actions or immediate actions you want to be done there and there. And so going back to settings, we can see that they brought out the battery tab from the device options. So now you get a dedicated tab for all your battery settings and needs and stats. Also, there has been a redesigned device wellness app, so it's much more informative and gives you more details with the app usage and management. For performance, in this category, I was just curious to see what would happen. So for benchmarking, I used Geekbench 6, Antutu Lite, and 3D Mark. Unfortunately, the Geekbench couldn't even run. The tablet crashed before it we went halfway past the first test. So it's seriously underpowered. For Antutu Lite, we got a score of 241,440. The CPU score was 79,261 with a GPU score of 44,222. And with the Android 14, there's just a little boost. So with a score of 247,589, the CPU score giving 80,575, and the GPU score was 4,272. Going on the 3D mark, I used the wildlife test, not extreme. On the Android 14, I got a score of 691, and the average FPS was 4.17. And the Android 13 surprisingly came out better with a score of 719 and an average FPS of 4.31. It's quite close, just about 20 points or more difference. So it's not really something that would seriously impact your day-to-day usage. So it's possible environmental conditions or the state could have affected its performance.